I start quickly covering the mountain surface. Where there are light areas, take a tissue and gently blot the left fragment. Why do I do it this way and not leave a white paper area initially? To show mist, it can't be completely white like paper. We need to show that mist also has texture, a certain color. We'll periodically add color and then remove it with a tissue. Make sure your tissue is clean. Otherwise, you might get dirty spots, and the brush should be clean too. We gently blend the edges of the light spot. I take a bit more Payne's gray, just half a tone darker than the previous mix. I outline specific areas on the far mountain. Here it will be. Let the paint spread, it's okay. On the left of the far mountain, let the paint spread too. You can blot a bit more with a tissue. To avoid sharp edges, add water, and remove sharp edges with a tissue. Notice that I do it locally. Let the paint spread here. On the right mountain, there's a fairly dark area. Rinse the brush again. If, like me, the paint spread too much at the edge, rinse the brush and gently remove the spread edges. It's best to wait until the wash dries a bit, then go over the mountain edges with color again. Notice that I don't darken the upper areas above the mountains. It's the nature of the dark print. In reality, it's much lighter at the top. Add a bit more color to the far mountain. Leave the far mountain as is. That's the mist we got at the top. There are a few more ways to create mist, but they're quite tricky, I'd say. You can use white gouache for mist, but gouache can really dirty our work. We don't need dirt in the work. Even the slight dustiness at the top is visually good. The reference also has a small area that's quite blurry. You can even add a bit of contrast at the top. Notice that my paper is wet. It's crucial to have a good level of moisture here. There shouldn't be a puddle, which prevents the paint from fully spreading. We leave the far part of the mountains. Now we move on to the middle mountain. Due to the dark print, the mountain shifted slightly to a green shade. I really like this aspect. I want to add a bit of indigo to the gray mix on my palette. I'll add a small amount of shadow green to slightly green the shade. Here, I touch the mountain with my finger. It's more or less dry, but still damp. Just what we need. My paint doesn't spread beyond the edges. We lay down the middle mountain. I'm not even going to fog up the middle mountain at the top. There's actually no mist here. It's just a kind of light effect. I'm taking a bit more water. Moving towards the mountain, it's going to the left, wetting the brush generously. The main thing is not to darken the lower corner of the mountain. Try not to darken it. A tall spruce will go over this mountain. If we darken the mountain too much, the tall spruce will disappear against it. It won't be visible. It's better to darken the upper parts of the mountain a little. I'm taking shadow green, indigo again, adding a drop of Payne's gray. The upper edge of the mountain can be slightly darkened. Now the edge will dry a bit. I'll use a tissue to pick up the parts that have spread. Once it dries a bit, you can go over the edge of the mountain again, but very carefully, rinsing the brush again. Blending the wash on the mountain a bit, we ended up with a clear line along its edge. Further on, it's more blurred. Another point of aerial perspective. Our distant mountain can't be darker than the closer one. Without aerial perspective, everything will look very flat. To have at least a small 3D effect, it's best for the tonal solution to be different for the mountains. On damp paper, spruces can spread out completely and create not very nice spots. When water touches the damp pigment we have here, the paint can just spread, and it will result in an unattractive spot. We're taking a fairly thin brush. In my case, it's a red weasel. The spruces in the distance, the smallest ones, are a bit blue-green. We're making the same mix. Indigo and shadow green. In the mix for distant spruces, shadow green will be in a ratio of 80 to 20. Mix 80% shadow green, 20% indigo, adding a bit of water to have a not very contrasting shade. Drying the brush a bit, especially from the base. Carefully starting to draw the distant spruces. Don't need to make too many of them. We have empty spaces here. Distant spruces shouldn't take all the attention. We'll mark just a few. Drawing the base trunk of the spruce. Everything's dry. We'll work with 2 brushes, a thin liner brush and a red weasel. Any round brush number 2 will do. Now don't be afraid to take color. Take it thoroughly. The thicker, the better. We're working only with shadow green. I'm taking a lot of paint on the brush. Drawing our largest spruce. First, making the base of the spruce. The synthetic brush releases water with paint very quickly. I have to keep wetting the brush a bit. We're leading the base of the spruce to about this level, maybe even a bit lower. Our spruce is the tallest, but that doesn't mean it will be the thickest. Northern spruces are known for not being very bushy. Northern spruces are thinner, more delicate. The top of the spruce can be made with small branches. Working with the very tip of the brush. I'm not trying to draw every needle. My work is dried. I take a small amount of white gouache in its pure form. I make small splatters with gouache for a beautiful visual effect. Our work is ready. Now, probably one of the favorite parts, removing the tape. See how the trees look beyond the paper. Before removing the tape, please make sure your work is completely dry to avoid smudges. Carefully remove it. Pull the tape away from the work, not towards it. This reduces the chance of tearing the paper if you remove it away from the work. Carefully remove the tape. Here's the work we created together. We worked with Miss today. We used only 4 colors. We had a small amount of gouache mixed in. The gouache mix was so minimal that it can practically be ignored. Thank you all very much for your attention. Until the next lesson, bye everyone.